Hello, welcome to How to Play D&D, the Explainer podcast with one experienced Dungeon Master and one failed script writer to discuss D&D topics. My name is Kinsey, and my ridiculously inadequate partner is Lewis McCaffery. Hello, Lewis.
Hello.
It's a long time since I got that right.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
first go.
It did sound strange as you were saying it. Maybe that's why it sounded strange.
It wasn't a mistake.
It sounded very professional this time for some reason. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
First time.
Yeah, I'll take that. How has your week been?
Not too bad. Too bad. Yeah, have we played D&D? I can't remember.
We have not played D&D since the last episode. No, we are playing D&D tomorrow, though.
Yes.
We are playing D&D tomorrow.
Yeah. You can never have too much D&D.
And do you know what's fun? It's actually the person DMing is someone who's been playing in our campaign, and this is their second time ever DMing. They've DM'd twice in the month. It's quite nice that it's working
just good
out.
that we don't have to DM every time.
Yes,
nice.
and an avid non-listener to the podcast, might I add.
Exactly.
Which is very good, very good.
I think we've said this before, but I'd definitely recommend that every player in a group tries DMing at least once.
Wasn't as scary as they thought it would be, they said. And yeah, everyone should take that into account and give it a go. It's fun. It's fun.
Why not? Why not?
Exactly.
What else are you doing?
Exactly.
Nothing.
We are recording this on a Sunday, and it's not a common thing, but we are, or one of us, but I was earlier, slightly hungover.
I don't know what you're talking about. I still feel drunk from yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
The hangover's
just me then.
Yeah, the hangover's not hit me yet.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. It was an enjoyable evening out. Yeah.
We actually do leave the house.
Yes,
at
and
times.
we saw sunlight. Some of us saw sunlight when we went home.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Can you guess what today's episode is about? Obviously, it's a class. Mm-hmm. Can you guess what class?
What have we actually done so far? We've done fighters and
wizards. Yeah.
So I reckon you've gone.
What's
to
the obvious
martial.
option?
I reckon it's going to be monk.
Oh, you are very close. You're one letter out. It's Paladin. Let's get to it. Okay, so today's episode is on Paladins. Everyone's favourite sword-wielding magic user, the OP broken build of D&D 5e.
It's beautiful.
Lewis, how many barbarians do you think I could take in a 1v15?
I'm going to say it depends. Are you the 15 or are you the 1?
I am the 1.
So I'd say just 15 of you. That'd be horrifying.
Horrible. It's not even the fight, just the fact that they exist.
That's the stuff of nightmares. I reckon you could probably take a solid 2.
Well, you didn't let me finish my question,
Oh.
even though you did. They are all hamsters.
Oh, well, none then.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I doing? Yeah, nothing.
You are
getting my
just
ass kicked.
literally getting your ass kicked by 15 hamsters.
Totally fair. Right, let's get into it. Can you summarise the type of class a paladin is?
Yes, so a paladin is a half caster. So what that means for new players is that they're martial based, but they have the ability to cast some spells. It's not their main thing, but yeah, they can do a bit of both.
Okay, yeah, nice. What die does a player roll when levelling their paladin?
The same as a fighter, actually, a D10.
Nice.
I think there's 2 or 3 of them in total that have a D10, and fighter and paladin are both one.
Okay, is it mostly martial that have that?
Yeah, I believe so, because those are the ones that are going to be the tanks.
They're going to be getting in the nitty gritty of it
exactly.
all. Okay.
And because I've said it on the other 2, for newer players, what that means for the D10 hit points is every time you level up, you roll a D10, add that, plus your Constitution modifier to your hit points.
Yeah, it's definitely a good class to play.
Yeah.
We're not talking about subclasses, but there's a lot of variety with a paladin.
Definitely.
Which is great. So well worth checking those out. What are the main stats a player should focus on when creating a paladin?
I'd say definitely strength and charisma. Those are your main 2, because unlike other martial classes where you can base your focus on dexterity instead of strength, but I feel like for a paladin, me personally, it makes more sense just to go for the strength, because if you picture what a paladin is, it's a guy in big heavy armour, or girl, with a massive hammer going in, bonking goblins on the head.
Yes.
But the charisma, you'll need that because that is your spellcasting modifier. So anytime you cast a spell it is the charisma modifier that gets added to it.
Not that we've questioned this on the wizard one, but why? Well, actually, no, we did kind of summarise why on the wizard one for the stats, but why charisma for paladin stats? Is it? Obviously that's just the way it is for 5e. But do you think that's because you're kind of meant to be a bit of a religious being, and you're meant to be able to like persuade people to do things?
Possibly, yeah, it might be that. I'm not. I think that's a good a reason as any. I know, because obviously wizard, the intelligence is the reading books. I know there's a druid being wisdom, obviously knowing
the way of the land.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But paladin, there's a few that are charisma based. I'm not overly sure if there is a reason.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, what makes the paladin such a great class to play? Now, you actually play this class in our campaign on the Black Shores. What made you choose it, I suppose?
I think looking at it from a function perspective in D&D, not fighters, paladins are great frontline fighters. They can go in, do a lot of damage, and with the D10 for their hit dice, they can take a lot as well, so they can often act as either the main source of damage or a tank, that kind of thing. But I think, personally, one of my favourite things about paladin is the fact that it's one of the only classes that is pure, that how you play it will almost purely depend on like the character backstory and the details, and that's with the subclass. So paladin, again, without going into too much detail in the actual different oaths and things, but depending on what oath you take will determine what kind of behaviour you're doing every session. Like if you're oath of devotion, you can't kill or murder, lie, that kind of thing, cheat. So
the subclasses are really orientated around how you play like the character way more than others that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, all of this comes under how you want to play it for any class, right? And the same for species/race, but with paladins specifically, it really feels tailored to that kind of play.
It's one of the ones where if you don't have that like fully defined in your character, then you're not gonna be able to roleplay it well.
You're essentially just playing a fighter,
exactly,
who just happens to have a couple of magic spells.
I think paladin's one of the only ones as well that allows for very organic roleplay changes, like with Oathbreaker and things like that.
Yeah, it can be drastic, and it makes sense in that moment, you know.
Yeah. Whereas other classes, if you're a fighter and you just start randomly acting like an Oathbreaker, let's say, then you just look like a dick. You've just
someone who
decided
just changed how they play or what they believe in seems a bit silly. But with paladin, it can work out
very
quite
natural.
nicely. Yeah. Same with warlocks as well. I think sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on their pacts, which we'll get into at some point. Can you name 3 feats you'd personally take when building a paladin?
So the first one I went for is the Great Weapon Master, which we said for fighter, but that is great for any martial classes that are going to be using heavy weapons. And what that does is it allows you to attack as a bonus action on your turn if you get a critical hit on or knock down an enemy as your action. It also gives you a +10 for damage if you take a -5 to your attack roll. So very, very good for frontline fighters. Went for Warcaster, surprisingly.
Okay.
Just because with Paladins being able to cast spells, there will be some there that require the concentration, and if you're casting a spell that requires that, going in and being the tank as well and taking damage, you're going to need that buff to your Constitution saving throws.
Yeah.
And third one went for Shield Master, and that purely because, again, following through with the tanky idea. If you're going up at front and you've got that shield, it just got the ability to knock enemies back 5 feet as a bonus action, and also if you are doing a dexterity saving throw to avoid, let's say, a spell effect like Fireball, then not only can you add a +2 for the shield to your saving throw, but you can also use your reaction to take no damage if you succeed on the save.
Okay, nice.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, well, this is pretty streamlined one, actually. Yeah. Pretty quick going,
I'm ready.
Considering our efforts to be bad at this from lots of drinking.
Maybe that's what it is. We just need to get hammered every night before we record.
Do you those feats? Have you taken those in the Blackshore as well?
I've taken Great Weapon Master. I think that's it because we're level 7. So next level,
right?
I may take Shield Master. I may take Shield Master actually.
Yeah.
Because he has got a shield.
Yeah, makes sense.
And he is a master.
Okay, well, quick one today then.
before you finish...
I literally hate that you do this. You literally need to start doing this.
No, it's just going
and I'll say it on the podcast. I don't mind.
I'm asking a question.
You've got time. You've got a gap, and then you leave it till I say it.
Yeah. It's great. I do it on purpose now.
People on the podcast are losing their shit on the bus.
You know what? I want everyone to just...
Horrible trait.
It's beautiful.
Don't take that feat.
Take
and
that feat. Do it every time you. If any listener sees Connor in the real world, just as he's about to say something, ask him a question.
I will beat you up. It's as simple as that.
That's what.
It's a terrible trait.
That's what he's got to do. Can you think of anyone in like movies, TV shows, that kind of thing, of pop culture that would be a paladin?
Ooh.
And I'm not going to let you say Terry Crews because I've seen the memes of Terry Crews as a paladin.
didn't even know. I don't know what you're on about. I'm too old.
Is it Terry?
There's going to be people older than me who are like, fuck off, mate.
Have I said his name wrong? I don't know.
No, Terry Crews, but I don't know what you're on about.
It sounds weird, yeah.
I don't watch the internet.
He's beefy and he's charming, so...
I'd say he's more of a barbarian.
Wow.
You know, because you can just go at
Some
it.
people...
And he's charming in a different way.
Okay.
No, I don't know really. I mean, I think most of the time the generic thing is someone's a fighter, right? You know, if you think of heroes, they're usually that. You know, they're that kind, or they're smart, so they're probably a rogue, or they're kind of good with talking to people.
What about Captain America? Just thought, even though he's more of like a fighter or something like that, but with his...
I'd say he's a fighter, but his personality, where he's so devout to America,
exactly.
And doing the right thing, then maybe he is oath of devotion. His devotion is the US of A, baby. What about you?
Well, I just said Captain America.
You just took my... right, okay.
I took,
fine.
Or Stuart Little.
Stuart Little, fuck that.
Fuck that guy.
Right, well... Let's get to it. So today's adventure has sadly come to a close. We're back again next week with a topic. Does Elastigirl go boing when she dumps, or am I spending my time on the wrong scientific research? And as always, thank you for tuning in. And if you like joining on the D&D action, then please follow us on Instagram and TikTok at How to Play D&D, or check out the link in our bio to join our Discord server, which some of you have recently, and we really need more people on there to kind of build that community. So thank you for those that have joined. And for our BTS of our sessions, bloopers, there are a lot of them, blogs, early access to episodes, and even live Q&As, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/howtoplaydnd. Okay, I thought you were going to jump in again.
No.
I've been Connor Kinsey.
I've been Lewis McCaffery.
Good day.
Goodbye.